So, this welcome guys. Let's continue with the next part. So we are into the AWS training. I believe almost everybody is doing CSA. That's obviously true, but maybe you guys might be also doing developer track also, right? So I would like to again welcome you guys, and this would be, I believe, the fourth lecture of this program. First was just the introduction, technically, or as a technical standpoint of view, it would be third lecture of this particular series or this particular training, right? So let's jump directly what exactly we are going to do today, right? So on my last few lecture, guys, I have talked a little bit core about the EC2 services, right? Even though there will be lots of component if you talk about EC2 because it is a one of the core services from the AWS, right? So, but as we go forward and with it's all depend upon the use case also. Whenever the respective use case come off that particular component, we'll again come back to EC2 and explain or understand that particular services, right? So today, guys, my overall plan would be I would like to talk about some of the services from AWS that is related to storage. Again, they have a complete independent portfolio or the set of storage services for different kind of requirement and different kind of use cases. Okay, somehow all the services related to storage we will cover in this training, right? So it may be S3, it may be Glacier, it may be EFS, it may be EBS, okay, or whatsoever related to storage. We will discuss in this not today but in this before the completion of this training, almost all the major services. So if you talk about if you go to AWS services, they have a different panel for the storage, right? So almost all the services that is listed over here we will discuss in this particular training. I'm not talking about databases because databases also we can use for storage, or I am also not talking about warehouse solution also, where also we can store the data somehow. Okay, those will I'll take those topic as a separate lecture, but I am talking about the storage and some of the storage that might not be visible here. For example, if you go to EBS, it is not visible here, but we will also discuss those points, right? So obviously in one day we are not going to cover all the storage service, but I would like to start storage from the basics, right? But slowly as we go ahead, maybe in the future whenever the requirement of EFS come up, I will pick this topic and explain you what is EFS. Maybe Glacier come up, I will pick the topic, I will explain Glacier or storage gateway and something like this, right? So as and when the need arise or requirement come up, or in the simple term I can say any use case come up, we will go and start this topic. But I would like to talk very generic today about the storage and some of the services I would have to touch base today. Most probably the two services I'm going to discuss today would be S3 and would be EBS. So these are two core services that almost every time every day we use if you're using the AWS cloud. Okay, but before I go ahead, let me first explain you what is storage. Then we will move to the next part. Okay, but understand one thing: storage is the one of the core requirement or the resource every time we need. Okay, for example, if you see my laptop, right, you can see lots of data file images over here. Okay, and if I shut down my laptop, these images data would be there. Okay, it means somebody is there or some device is there who keep my data. And the interesting thing is they keep my data permanent. Okay, it won't remove. So if you have any images, video, or any data and you want your data to be saved permanent, okay, permanent, okay, then then the need of one particular device come in play, and the name of device that will save your data permanent, and permanent also known as, guys, in this technical world called persistent. Okay, so if you want to save your data data permanent. So obviously we need a device, and the name of the device that help me to permanent save my data is storage. So storage is one kind of device you can use, and every day we use the storage, guys. It may be your flash storage, it may be your SSD hard disk, it may be your pen drive, okay, it may be your CD-ROM, DVD-ROM, floppy, right? So whatever the devices you want to use, or what are the kind of media you want to use, that would be your choice, okay. But the final motto of these media is, they want these guys help me to provide storage. And when I say storage is never known as memory, because memory is always the RAM, and that has a very volatile memory, right? So we don't use the word called that my if you use this statement this and say my RAM is the volatile storage, so it is a wrong term. Okay, storage, because whenever this storage word come up, it means we are talking about permanent. So we always say our RAM is the volatile memory. It means after the power goes off, all the data in this memory will go off. Okay, so it's very small term, but I just want to emphasize here because sometimes we confuse with the term, right? So today's guys, the overall motto is to store the data permanent, and we need storage device. Now if we talk about the storage, normally storage is divided into three parts normally. Depend upon the requirement, which kind of data you want to store permanent. So final motto is, we want our data to be permanent store. That is our final motto. But which kind of data you're talking about? So kind to kind, right? If the kind change, then the type of storage is also change. So what is your kind or requirement you have, or I can say use case you have? So typically storage divide into three types, or three use case type. Okay, the first one is known as object storage. Okay, second one is known as block storage, and third one is known as file storage. These are the high level type. Maybe we might have some more subtype of these types. Okay, but as we go forward and after all the topic of storage completed, you guys will be comfortable of all these types very very clearly, right? Okay, so let me pick one example, right? So if I ask you guys one question over here, and if I ask you if you guys ever install any operating system, if you ever install any operating system, maybe Windows or maybe Linux operating system, and if I provide you, if I provide you Dropbox, you know the Dropbox is a product, right? Or Google Drive, for example. And if I say this, if I say this is the Google Drive, and what Google Drive give you, they give you some, let's say in my case, I have 200 GB storage, but maybe 15 GB storage you have. So I say Google Drive give you some storage, okay, let's say 15 GB, and because you want to install the operating system, let's say Linux operating system or Windows, and for installing the operating system also we need the storage, right? So can you install Windows or Linux in this storage? It is possible, right? It is possible that we can store if we can install any operating system in this drive. Just go and think, guys. Can you install this? So if you try to guys think, right, finally what you get is as such impossible. Maybe some kind of manipulation we can do, but as such, technically, it is impossible to install any operating system. I'm guys talking about the installation, right? I'm not talking about the keeping the OS image. Okay. So installation of any operating system in the Google Drive or Dropbox, technically it is not possible. Okay, so if you want to install any operating system, the only possible way that is available is, okay, you have to go to the market and buy one hard disk. Okay, either you can put this hard disk inside your laptop, it's called internal hard disk, or you can put your hard disk in your USB, that is called external hard disk, or maybe you can have the pen drive also, because pen drive is also like a external hard disk. So when you say external hard disk or pen drive, same thing. Look and feel wise different, but otherwise they are same. So it means if you want to install any operating system, okay, you need some kind of hard disk, some kind of hard disk. Okay, And that hard disk that you need to install some OS, all right. And because when you install the OS, for example, in my case, my Windows is installed in one hard disk, okay. And in one hard disk we create one drive, this called C drive. So in my laptop I have one internal hard disk of 500 GB, and there I install my entire Windows. But because I store my hard disk, I install my Windows in my hard disk, and this hard disk is one device, and device is by chance a storage. So that is the reason my Windows is permanent. After I reboot, my Windows never remove. It is there forever because we use a device that's called storage device. So technically, what I'm talking about, guys, any storage device that help you to install the operating system, example would be your hard disk, are known as block device, or I can say block storage device. Right. So if you have a requirement, you want to install the operating system, the hard disk that you need or storage that you need is block device. Okay. But if you have a need, right, that you don't want to install any operating system, you just require some storage, you just require some space, and your requirement is to just put your data, save your data. For example, if you talk about Google Drive, okay. So guys, this Google Drive is again one kind of space. They give you one space here. They give you some storage over here. Guys, if you see here also, they give you some storage over here. Okay. So that I can just directly go here, create a folder, upload my file, download my file, right? For this storage, you don't have to install any operating system. Just open from the browser, open here, click here, upload, download, whatever you want to do, you can do it. So in this kind of storage, again, finally, my data is permanent forever. It's persistent. But this kind of storage are known as object storage. Or I can say object type of devices they are. So again, the final requirement, guys, is we need the storage, means I want my data to be persistent. But what is your final motto? What is your final use case? What exactly you want? What kind of storage you want? So if you have a storage where you just want, where you just want to keep your images, videos, file, pictures, right? So normally we use nowadays a lot Google Drive or Dropbox, something like this. Okay, and by chance this images, video and folder I'm talking about, by chance they are also known as, either you can use the term file, but they are also known as object. That might be the reason they use the term called object storage or object devices. Okay, so object storage is just a vocabulary here, or just the concept name. There's multiple object storage available in the market. One of the some of the few famous object storage available in the market is Google Drive. Second one is Dropbox. And maybe you might have more object storage available in the market. Okay, but if you talk about the AWS cloud perspective, and if you ask AWS that you are the cloud, you're giving multiple services. So do you have any product or service that provide me object storage? Because this AWS is a cloud, so we can use the term called, do you have any service that provide me object storage as a service? It's called OSAAS. In simple term, you might write in this way. So do you have any any services that provide me object storage as a service? So AWS has one service available known as S3, simple storage service, S3. So if you see here in AWS portal, so they have one service called S3, and this is a service where you can store your object like you store in Google Drive or Dropbox. Means you don't have to install the OS and the operating system. Just directly go here in S3, upload a file, download a file, upload your image, video, and download it, right, whenever you require. Okay, so any cloud or any service, right, or any server in the world who provide object storage, it means it is just plug and play. Means just go there, upload, and keep the data there centralized. Means you keep the data somewhere. Obviously, when I say centralized, it will be somewhere on the internet or somewhere on the cloud, and you can download anywhere in the world where you want to use it, right? But if your requirement change, And let's say your requirement is we would like to install the operating system, and this is the only requirement, for example. Okay, so to solving this requirement, we need a hard disk. Okay, and hard disk, guys, is typically also known as block device. Okay, so any hard disk that help you to install the operating system are known as block device. So if you talk about if I talk about my Windows, so this is the drive I have. It is there in my hard disk. And if you talk about that particular that hard disk is known as block hard disk or block device. So without the block device, right, you won't able to install any operating system at all, right? Technically, it is not possible. Why? There will be different reason, but it is not possible. Okay, so so if you have a requirement to install the operating system, then we have to use a block device, or I can say block storage. So if you ask the AWS, do you have any service through which you can provide me a block storage as a service? Okay, so they say yes, we have, and the name of the service called EBS. B means block storage services or block store or storage, same thing. E means elastic. So what is elastic, guys? In a lot of services in AWS, they use E, like EC2. EC2 is also elastic cloud services or cloud compute services. So what is the meaning of elastic? We will discuss in the future. It is something related to cloud only, okay, or cloud feature only. We will discuss. But the full form of EBS is elastic block store or storage. So it means in the AWS cloud, if you have a requirement, if you have a requirement to install any operating system, then we have to use a service called EBS. But if you notice here in the AWS cloud, here you won't see any service named EBS. Why? Because if you want to install the if you want to install any operating system, you need EBS. That's for sure. Okay, but for installing the operating system, you also need RAM and CPU. Plus, you also need AMI image, right? So AMI image, RAM and CPU, or some other things. These are the things that is provided by a service called EC2. So AWS say without the EC2, right, it is again impossible to install any operating system. So there is no good reason to provide EBS extra here. So if you want to use EBS, you have to first go to EC2 service page or EC2 service dashboard. Here the guys give you RAM and CPU, and the OS images called AMI. And same time, if you go down in the left panel, you can see they also provide you EBS, elastic block storage or elastic block store. Because because EC2 help you to launch the OS, but if you want to launch the OS, you have to first install it. And if you want to install it, you need a hard disk, and hard disk will be provided by EBS. So we'll make we make EBS service as a sorry, EBS service is one kind of secondary service or sub-service of EC2. So if you go to EC2, inside the EC2, you can find this service. So I can say EBS is a one sub-service under the umbrella of EC2. You can think in this way. Okay. Similarly, if your requirement change, and if you need file storage. So what is file storage? I'm not discussing right now, because those guys who are new in this cloud or technological world, they might confuse with this term, but there are a lot of requirement come up. Okay, when this requirement come up in the future, I will explain about why we need a file storage. And that point in time, you can compare very easily with the block storage and the object storage. So there's some use cases that can only be solved by file storage. So anybody who by chance know about networking, we use NFS services. So it is related to the NFS services. But don't worry, guys, we will discuss this part in upcoming classes. And by chance in AWS, the name of service who provide you file storage called EFS. So if you, even though if you see in normal services, you can find EFS over here. Okay. So what we will discuss about EFS in the future class. So today, my plan, guys, is to talk about two services. Sorry. One would be block storage and one would be object storage. Both are finally storage. Both is helping you to store your data permanent forever till the time you manually delete. Okay. But requirement to requirement and use case to use case. Sometimes we go for EBS, or it's called block storage, and sometimes we go for object storage, that is called in the AWS called S3. Okay, so today guys I would like to touch both the services, and so let's start one by one. Let's pick first service over here. It's called block storage as the service. Okay, so you think in this way, if you go to AWS and say, AWS, my requirement is I have the OS image that's called AMI. I have the RAM and CPU. I also have the network card to connect to the internet of this OS. Sorry. Okay, but I want to install this OS. So I have this DVD. You can think like it's this DVD, you guys know. Okay, and from this DVD boot image, I would have to first install my OS. Okay, so do you have a block device for this? Do you have provide any service where I can install my operating system? Obviously, that would be permanent. Okay, so they say yes, we have a service known as EBS. Okay, EBS will give you a facility to store, to install your OS permanent. Okay. Now again, internally EBS, they give you three different kind of types of EBS, you can say, or types of block devices, you can say. Again, final requirement is is to install the operating system, but again, in installing the operating system, again we have some kind of particular particular with some fine grain requirement, right? So I will discuss this point in a minute, but again this guys will divide into three part. Okay, or I can say block devices is divided into three part that I will discuss in a minute in detail, but let me give the name. So one of the block device name they give you is root block device. One they give you is called ephemeral block device, and one device they give you, by chance they use the term called EBS only. Okay, so what I mean by this, we will discuss guys this part in detail. Okay, so let's pick one by one. Sorry. Let's pick one by one. I think the best way to understand this part is in this way you can understood. Okay, for example, if you talk about my laptop, in my laptop, the way I have arranged the data is the one of the worst way. The one of the worst way I arrange my data, because I've seen in my desktop there's lots of data I can see that is very much important for me, very much important for me. Okay, but right now everything I store in my laptop, in my desktop, it technically finally stored in my C drive. Okay, and you guys, if you know anything about the Windows, so you guys know whenever you install the Windows, okay, or I can say in this way, whenever you install any operating system in the world, okay, the minimum requirement is, if you want to install the operating system, the minimum requirement is you need a hard disk. And second minimum requirement is, inside the hard disk, you should have at least one partition. Or you can say in the simple term, one drive. So it's one possible that you want to install Mac OS or Linux or AIX or Unix or Windows, and you say, I have the hard disk, but I don't have the partition. It's not possible, guys. First of all, you need the real hard disk, physical hard disk, typically known as a block device. Block device is the right or technical term for any hard disk. Okay, but inside the hard disk, if you have a requirement to install the OS, you have to create at least one partition. So you can think per partition one OS. So you can think in this way: you have a one big hard disk, and it is in this hard disk, let's say 100 GB. You can divide this hard disk into three parts. So this is the drive number A, drive number B, drive number C, or partition A, partition B, partition C. Okay, why we divide hard disk in three parts? Multiple reason maybe, but let's say here in this partition I would like to install Windows. Here I would like to install Linux. Here I want to install, for example, CentOS Linux, so Ubuntu Linux. So in one hard disk, if you get three partition, 30 different OS you can install. You can install at a time. Okay, likewise you can install more. So technically, my main emphasized point over here is here is if you want to install any OS, you need a hard disk. Inside the hard disk, you require a parser for one OS. Second OS, second parser. But in my hard disk that I have right now in my laptop, it's called my block hard disk. Right now, the hard disk size is 500 GB in my case. Okay, and what we did in this 500 GB space, I create around just one single parser, one single drive. Okay, that's one single drive I created, and or not one single drive. Let's say I created one drive of 462 GB. Okay, one partition I created, and here in this partition I installed entire Windows OS. Okay, I installed over here, but for some reason, I create also one more extra partition or drive around, let's say, 13 GB in size. Here I don't use this partition for installing any other OS. I keep this partition for some other use case, or for the requirement, for other requirement. Okay, what is the requirement? I will discuss in a minute. Okay, but now let's come to a main part. What I'm talking about here is this is my laptop scenario. Now, you know what happened? Okay, by chance, if my Windows corrupt, okay, if my Windows corrupt, okay, so normally if your Windows corrupt, it won't work. So some of the internal programs of Windows corrupt, and that is stored somewhere in the C drive, because this is a drive where we have installed the operating system. So you know what you have to do? You have to again reinstall the Windows, for example. Okay, and if you again reinstall the Windows, okay, the entire C drive will again initiate, again recreate, and all the data of this drive has to, first we have to destroy it, and again we have to put the new data of this OS by installing. So technically, technically all the data in the C drive will corrupt it. But if you talk about my laptop, due to some reason, if my Windows corrupt, okay, all the data on my desktop is technically stored in the C drive because they store the C drive. By the time my Windows corrupt, all the data in my desktop will be corrupted. Okay, maybe there's some kind of recovery tool available. There's a different point, right? But my focus here would be, if my C drive corrupt or my Windows corrupt, the same thing. Okay, entire data of my desktop will be corrupted. So this is I say the way I arrange my data here is the one of the worst way to arrange, because I feel some of my data over here is very very much critical. So the good way and planning would be something like this. The good planning would be, okay, what should I have to do? What could I have to do? I have to keep my data in this drive. Okay, so whatever data I feel that is very much critical for me, so in the same hard disk same, one single hard disk. In this hard disk we have two partition. This is the first partition, and this is the second partition. Two partition I have. Okay, and any data that I feel is very much important for me, just for management purpose or maybe security purpose, you can say, I will keep in this drive. So what the benefit I will get? If I keep this data in this drive, or in the next partition or second partition, let's say B partition. Okay, so my A partition is used for installing your let's say this A is C drive and D is different drive. Okay, so C drive I use to install it for installing the Windows, and Windows corrupt, entire data will corrupt. But whatever data I keep here in my D drive, it won't lose. It will be there forever till the time I manually removed. This is the best way to manage your storage. Okay, so why am I explaining this? Why I'm explaining this? Because in your hard disk, okay, you can create multiple part or partitions or drive. The main drive where you install the operating system, okay, that drive are known as root drive. Okay, that's what I have written here. You know, so this block device that's provided by Amazon, right? They give you three types. One of the type they give is a root drive. Means if you want to install any operating system, okay, so only way to install the operating system in the AWS is by help of root disk or root drive, or I can say root block storage. This is the only way. That is a reason if you ever try to install any operating system via EC2. Okay, let me install very quickly one OS. Any of the OS if you want to install over here. Okay, let me pick one OS, this one. So what you will notice, guys, when you go to next screen, and the next screen, This screen is talking about storage. They say you want to install the operating system, you want to launch the operating system. But if you want to launch the operating system has to be installed. And if you want to install the operating system, right, the volume type, okay guys, understand one thing, storage is also known as volume. So when I say storage, or when I say hard disk, or when I say volume, is same thing. Technically it is not a storage, but we can also use the term called volume. So volume type that we have given to you is a root volume. Okay. And technically we are going to provide you 8 GB hard disk. In 8 GB hard disk, we are going to create one partition. And inside this partition, we will install this particular OS. It may be Windows or Linux, it doesn't matter, right? But the partition or the hard disk, I can say, okay, is known as root volume or root hard disk, right? So in simple term, guys, you can think root storage or root hard disk or root drive is equals to the drive where we install the operating system in the cloud or in the AWS, install the operating system. So that is a use of root storage. Okay, what is ephemeral? I will discuss in some minute. Okay, let's jump to EBS. Okay, so you can think, guys, in this example I have, okay, in this example what I did, I have single hard disk of 500 GB. Okay, and this hard disk I divided into two part, C drive and D drive. Why I did? Because by chance my window corrupt, only C drive we have to reinstall. All the data C drive will removed or recopy. I mentioned my instruction will reinstalled. Okay, but all the data in the D drive, when you reinstall the Windows, none of the part of the D drive will be hampered. Okay, all the data in the D drive will be safe for us. Okay, that is a way. That's the reason we plan in this way. Okay, but what happened, guys? What happened if your entire hard disk corrupt? The hard disk is what? Is a device, right? And what is the life of the device? Every device comes with some life. Depend upon the company also, or how they manufacture your devices. But none of the company in the world can give you guarantee that you whatever hard disk I'm giving to you, I'm giving the guarantee it won't corrupt forever. Every device has a life. Depend upon users also, or lots of other factors also vary. Okay, so some hard disk fail might corrupt in two years, maybe some 10 years or 50 years, but they will corrupt. They will fail because finally they are the device or they have some life. Okay, so it means if I have a 500 GB one single hard disk, maybe in this hard disk I have two partition one and partition two. Okay, and my planning is good. If Windows corrupt, my data in the D drive never corrupt. I can get the same data after reinstall my Windows. Okay, but what if my entire hard disk fail? Real hard disk fail. So if entire hard disk fail, all the drive data fail. All the drive data won't be accessible. I won't able to access none of my data. Okay, and that is a reason. Normally, the practice that we do, what we do is whenever you want to install the OS, right? Nowadays, what normal practice we do? Okay, for example, I have one single hard disk of 500 GB. Okay, and my plan is to install the Windows. So what we will do? We only create normally one single drive in Windows. Okay, one single person in Windows. Or let's give entire 500 GB to my Windows installation. So this entire hard disk of my real hard disk that attached to my laptop, I give to my C drive. Okay, let's Windows use this entire C drive so that they can install there, or maybe any other software you want to install. Even though, guys, when you install any software in Windows, they always get the space from C drive. Or if you guys use Linux, they get the storage from slash drive. Slash is equals to C drive in Windows. In the Linux, we use slash drive. Okay. But normally what we do, just it's, again, guys, vary from management to management because it is data. So where you want to keep your data, that will be your choice. I keep my data in my C drive, my desktop. That is the worst way to do, but I have done this. Okay, so normally the good way to manage data, if you think your data is some data is very critical, maybe some audio, text file, your databases, your something is very critical. So what can you do? You can also buy one more hard disk. Let's say your data maybe of 100 GB in size. So let's buy one more new hard disk. So let's say this hard disk number A, this is the hard disk number B. Okay. And both the hard disk guys, you can attach to your operating system. So this hard disk is attached to this OS. Same hard disk I also attach to same OS. Typically guys, your OS is actually installed over here. So this is the part of the same OS. Okay. But if you think your data is something critical and you don't want to keep the data in the hard disk of C drive or neither your main hard disk in the D drive, let's say. Okay. So what can you do? Buy some extra hard disk. Typically in our world, it is known as external hard disk. And most of the time we use pen drive for this. Pen drive also like a kind of external hard disk. Plug the pen drive in your laptop. Okay. And whatever data you think it is sensitive for you, you don't want to keep in this OS, just copy in the pen drive. And whenever you need this data, attach the pen drive. When attach the pen drive, new drive come up, you just go and read the data. Again, copy back, delete, whatever you want to do, you do it. Okay. So it again, guys, depend upon the planning to planning. Planning to planning, how you want to manage the data. Okay. But if you want to, right, buy a pen drive or external hard disk, right now, if you think if I want to store my data in the pen drive, okay, why I want to keep in the pen drive? Maybe one reason I explain you, this data is important for me. I will have to keep my pen drive. So if my OS corrupt, my data will be safe in my pen drive. And second reason is shareable, right? Maybe I have some data in my, I have some project, for example, in my laptop, and I will have to share my project to my friends, right? So what can I do? I can copy my data, images, video in the pen drive, and I can share my pen drive to somebody else. Or maybe from this laptop, I have to connect, put my data in the pen drive, I remove the pen drive and put in the second laptop. I can get my data there. So multiple requirement guys you might have, but in any of this requirement, if you have, for this, you have to go to the market and buy the hard disk or buy the pen drive. And then only you can attach it. Then only you can use it. You have to invest it. And investment is not, again, important here. Right now, if you sudden need, I have to invest my time also. I have to go to market or order online, and it's come to us. Okay. But same facility Amazon provide you, right? If you go to Amazon and say, Amazon, my OS is running there. My OS is running already in your data center, in your AZ. Okay. And this OS is running in the internal hard disk, means the root hard disk where they installed. Okay. But I would have to keep my data, right? But not in your internal hard disk. If I do so, if your hard disk corrupt, all my data corrupt. If I do so, if you want to share this data to other OS, maybe this other OS also running in the same data center. Let's say this IP number 1, IP number 2. So I have some amazing video and data I will share between the systems. So if I store anything in your root volume or root storage, sharing would be, we can share somehow, but would be somehow also typical. Okay. So I would like to use the method the method that I use in my laptop. What I do, I go to market, purchase the pen drive, plug the pen drive in your USB slot. Okay. Copy the data and remove the pen drive. Same pen drive attached here. So what I did, I copy from here, I can get here. Same facility I want to do. So do you have any pen drive or do you have any device, again the block device, that give me this facility of on the fly I can attach, on the fly I can remove, on the fly I can attach here, and the fly I can remove here. So do you have any kind of block device that can give this facility to me? They say yes, we have, and name of that block device is called EBS. Now here actually the role of actual EBS come in play. It's called again elastic block store. Okay, this is, you can think is EBS is like your pen drive. But can you install any operating system in your pen drive? Answer yes. Okay, so pen drive guys, also you can put the pen drive in the laptop and you can install Linux and Windows inside the pen drive. So pen drive is a block storage, but now purpose of pen drive, you want to install the OS, that is your choice. You want to keep the data. So if your OS corrupt in your main laptop, data won't corrupt in the pen drive, obviously, and you want to share the data between the laptops. again we use the pen drive. So these are the 2 or 3 facilities. Especially the main facility is sharing the data between 2 laptops or 2 instances here. If you have this kind of requirement, then we have to use EBS as a storage. Okay, and that is a reason, guys, while installing this OS, here they ask you, do you want to add a new volume? Okay, it means technically they're asking you, right? You don't have to go to market, buy the pen drive, invest your time and money. Okay, because obviously, if you go to market and buy, let's say 64 GB pen drive, you have to pay upfront amount. Here, you don't have to pay upfront. As you use, as much you use, you have to pay that much. Okay, you just click here, and on the fly, just one click, I will create a new pen drive for you or new block storage for you. The purpose of this pen drive is, okay, when this pen drive create, it will create by EBS that I told you. Okay, by EBS. But purpose of this pen drive is this pen drive or this storage will plug to this OS in the USB slot. And the way you use your pen drive in the real world, you can use the pen drive in the such a way. And now size, you decide how much size of storage you want. I will create 8000 GB storage also. Okay, that would be your decision how much you want. Okay, so the guy, there's 2 different kind of storage I have discussed. One is root and EBS. Both are block device. Okay, both are block device. Store your data permanent. Both can be used for installing the OS, but this EBS has some extra benefit. The benefit that you get normally from the pen drive. There's extra benefit you get. What is FRML? I will discuss, guys, today only after some time. But let me show you this demo very quickly. One more thing you can do, you don't have to attach right now, right? Because normally you can think in this way: when I install my OS installed, or maybe normally you can purchase the pen drive in the future and attach on the fly in this laptop. That's also we can do. And the same thing I am going to show you over here. Okay. But guys, in the storage world, there's lots of concept here. There's a concept of volume types, multiple kind of volume types we have. We have concept of throughputs, we have come to IOPS, we have concept of encryption. Everything, guys, I will cover in very detail, okay, per use case basis, because this type is used for different purpose. This type is used for different purpose. Throughput will be used for different purpose. Encryption will be used for some purpose. Okay, everything we will cover, guys, slowly. Okay, so I'm not discussing right now because my plan is to first sync you guys with the concepts of storage and the volume. Then as we go forward, we'll touch everything here. And guys, again, I'm repeating, I told you first day also, initially, so some classes, because I feel our 80% guys are new in cloud, or 50% guys are new maybe in the technological world. So I'm also emphasizing giving some time on explaining the concept of partisans and something like this. Okay, so that these guys can cop up and sync with us what exactly we are talking about. Okay, so for those guys who already knew something about cloud or technical world, they might feel there's a lot of basics going on, but yes, I know, but I'm covering the basics here. You guys might get some new thing from here, but for some class initially, my intention is to sync everybody with us. Okay, so let's guys go and install this OS. And this OS, I'm not attaching any extra hard disk because I would like to show you on the fly we gonna attach. And one more thing I would like to do here, let me launch 2 OS together. Okay, because my plan is I am going to create one hard pen drive, and first pen drive I connect to first OS, and then remove from first OS, then I connect to second OS. So for this practical, I just need 2 OS. So I'm launching 2 OS in parallel. So it will save our time in the future. Okay. So click next, add storage. In both the OS, 88 GB of root volume attached. And guys, understand one thing, there's no option here to cross. Okay. If you add new hard disk, we can remove it. In the right corner, you can see cross button here. I can remove my pen drive or add more pen drives here. Okay, if I click here, one pen drive you want, one more you want, one more you want, one more you want. How many pen drive you can test? Guys, it's very interesting. You know, do you think in the laptop how many pen drive you can connect? Maybe 2 or 3, depend how many USB slot you have. But this instance has as such as such an indefinite kind of hard disk or pen drive you can kind. How is possible? We will discuss, guys, this part again in detail when I go for more detailed discussion about how internally they work. Okay, this is a concept called iSCSI protocol. Okay, I will discuss there how they work. So how is possible? Why? How can I connect hundreds and as such an indefinite pen drive or external hard disk in one OS? We will discuss, guys. But attaching the root is compulsory. Obviously, if you don't have a root hard disk, you won't able to create a root drive like C drive in Windows and slash in Linux. So how can you install the OS here from the AMI? So this is compulsory to have. One thing, just give the name. Let's say this is AWS OS for testing. Click. Security group, guys, we already discussed in detail or in my last class. And launch. And I'm attaching my private key. It's like a password. Now, two OS, guys, launch. Every OS, AWS give a unique ID. Right, this ID we're gonna use in the future for some purpose. Okay, they launch. View the instance here. So two instances I have. Okay, so I have a lot of instances actually stopped here, but these two instances you can see is pending, but they come up very quickly. Okay, let me give the name here. I can change the name also here. So one, this is the OS number one, or I can say this is your laptop number two. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here, okay, when I go and connect to this laptop, what you'll see, I have only one single hard disk. That is my root hard disk having the size of 8 GB. Even though if you click here in the instance ID, okay, and if you go down in the details, you can see here somewhere, okay, they've changed all the locations, but you can see they have the different tab here, storage, and they say they have only one device called root. But guys, understand one thing, maybe your root device or FRember or EBS, the main type is non EBS only. Why? Again, we'll discuss. So you can think EBS has three types. Or one is root for installing the OS, one is FRember, I will discuss after some time, and one is EBS. By chance name is same, but EBS it is like a pen drive. Okay. So if you again start from the top, if your final requirement is installing the data or saving the data persistent, you need storage. And right now we're talking about the block storage, means the hard disk. Okay, and this hard disk block storage again divided in three parts: root, EBS, and FRember. So this is a way I can say. So storage is a big world altogether. Requirement to requirement. Okay, the name change and the device also change, or name also change. So guys, okay, so I have, you see here, I have only one hard disk connected. Okay, and hard disk size is 8 GB, and it is connected. Say I am attached already. That is a reason this OS is installing. The AMI is installing in this OS. So I can say your DVDs, bootable OS DVD is installing your OS. Okay, or you can see also by connecting. Right? So I just go here and connect. One more way, guys, you can connect is, I told you already, connect, and I can use this tab to connect. So you don't have to use PuTTY. Directly you can connect and get the screen. Why? Because the AMI that we are using here is called Amazon Linux version 2, and this is the only AMI I think that these guys support to log in directly via web browser. Okay, by default. Even though we can also make Windows or Reddit also to have this kind of access, but we have to do some setting there internal. If you want, I will discuss in the future classes. Okay, so now what you will see here, this is the OS. All right, running on the cloud. I think in my case in Mumbai region, in one of the data center of Mumbai. Okay, but if you want to check how much RAM I have here, this is the command you have, around 1 GB RAM. How much CPU I have. Okay, so you know this command, guys, we'll discuss again in my last classes. One CPU I have. okay, of 64-bit flavor I have. Okay, this command you guys know, but if you want to check, how many hard disks is been connected to this OS. So guys, by chance, this is the Linux OS. In the Linux, there's a command called fdisk-l. Fdisk-l. By this command, you can check how many hard disks we have connected here. And if you hit enter, you will might see this error called permission denied. Why? Because if you guys, I think some of my basic lecture I have shared with you guys in Linux, and I told you there, if you want to do anything in the Linux, you have to log in with the root account. But right now I have logged in with some other account, and any other account in the Linux may be easy to have a user. If you log in, okay, they have the limited power. Okay, from that account you can't do much. For example, if you want to list all the hard disks you have, you can't do from this account. So you have to log in to the root account. And how to log in? One of the way we have is sudo su space hyphen space root. And now if you run who am I command to check, sorry, who am I? So now I have logged in with the root account. So you can think root is an admin of your Linux OS that has unlimited power, right? So most of the time, guys, we have to log in with the root account, and anybody who know about sudo, you can use sudo command also. Okay. Now here, if I run the command fdisk-l, what you will see, you will see in this OS, I have attached with one disk or hard disk size of 8 GB. Okay. And this is the one thing they have done here. And in this hard disk, they have created one partition of 8 GB. This is a partition name. Okay. And guys, whenever you create the partition in the hard disk, you connect to the OS with some drive. For example, in my Windows, I create one hard disk and I connect this hard disk to the C drive. I can say in my hard disk, I create one partition, and this one partition I connect to C drive. And connecting off to any drive in the OS is known as mount. So I mount in my C drive. Okay. Similarly, because this is Linux, so this is a hard, in this hard disk, 8 GB, this guy created one partition of 8 GB. Obviously, hard disk is 8 GB, so we can't create more than 8 GB. Okay. And this partition, they connect with the main drive of the Linux. And guys, like in Windows, we have C drive. In the Linux, the main drive name is slash drive. So you can use this command df-h. This will tell you, okay, this partition 1 of 8 GB is 8 GB is connected to your slash drive. So like in Windows, C drive, in the main drive in Linux is slash drive. Okay, so this is a purely the Linux command. If you are able to understand this part is okay. Otherwise, it is not so much important for us. So anybody but who belong to Linux, these are some of the very basic command we use in Linux. But my final intention, guys, is to show you here is, right, if you run this command L means it lists all the disk you have in your computer. And right now I have only one disk. Why? Because according to my EC2, I have only attached one single hard disk. Okay. And you see the same name also coming, XVDA. This is the name of my XVDA is the name of my hard disk. Okay. But let's say you can think, guys, now you can think this is your laptop running in the front of you. You can think in this way. Okay. And now so we have certain requirement come up and I need to have 20 GB of pen drive connected because I have to put some data here. Maybe I already explained you. I have to copy this data from this OS and connect to the next OS so I can copy there, something like this. This might be requirement, right? So how you can get it? So guys, if this OS is running in the front of you, okay, then connecting the pen drive is so simple. You just go to market, purchase the hard disk or pen drive, come to a laptop, put in your USB slot and connect it. So simple, right? It's not big deal. Okay. But the big deal is right now, this screen is only in the front of me. This is the console, this is screen. But this OS physically running where? On the cloud. So now it's so interesting or so, if you think it's so complex also somewhere, right? Right now your OS and laptop is running in Mumbai, real physical laptop. running in the Mumbai, or I can say instance, and I'm sitting here in my laptop. Okay, and my intention is to connect in their USB storage one new pen drive or one new hard disk storage. Okay, but if you want to connect to your laptop, it's so simple. I just plug my pen drive to my uh, laptop USB. Okay, and it will connect to my local OS, maybe Windows or Linux. So connecting local pen drive would be so simple, right? But if you try to visualize this part, is look like so complex. OS running in Mumbai, I don't have a power to go inside the Mumbai data center. So how can I connect a new pen drive to this guy? Okay, so it looked like pretty complex, but Amazon make this part so simple. What can we do? We can go to Amazon and say, I need one hard disk, let's say 1 GB. Okay, and let's say I would like to buy a 1 GB hard disk from you or pen drive from you, and after I buy 1 GB hard disk pen drive from you, I want you use some kind of your inter robots or some kind of programs who will go and connect my pen drive to the real physical storage USB to this OS, so that I can access. Right? So if you want to do this, right, doing this the part in the Amazon is so simple. Right, what can we do in the Amazon, this part portal? Okay, this portal, what I'll do, what I'll do here, let me go back in the dashboard. In this screen, 2OS is running in the Mumbai. So in the same Mumbai, I'll go to a service called EBS, because this is the one who gave me a pen drive or the external hard disk. Okay, I go to volume. Volume means I just want to buy some new hard disk. Okay, and this option go create volume, create, and here you can define the number of the size of hard disk you want. Let's say I'll go for 1 GB, because the minimum, if you see, minimum they allow by chance here is 1 GB, maximum they allow 16,000 something. It is around something 16 terabyte. The minimum, maximum, one single hard disk size or pen drive size they allow here by default. Okay, so guys, that's all. This the way you do, right? It's so simple. Just one click, you can think. It is exactly like the way you go to market, purchase the pen drive, and this pen drive come to you. The entire process will be done just by one click. That's all. An interesting thing here is, right, when you buy some real hard disk from pen drive, you have to give a front amount. Here you have to go use pay as we go model. Okay, till the time you use Amazon pay for this storage, otherwise they won't pay. Okay, so if you want, they won't charge you. Again, come here, delete this. So till the time this storage is been attached to your account, they will keep on charging. Again, guys, I'm repeating. If you purchase this hard disk here, this is called allocate new storage here. Okay, it's called allocation. Okay, even though you put the data, you don't put the data according to Amazon. You have this storage has been allocated to you, so they keep on charging per monthly basis. Okay, by chance your account is in free tier, so till 30 GB oral per day or average, they are free. But if you think they are charging after the free tier, okay, and if you think you don't not using it, so just come to this page again, the volume page, and delete this hard disk. But till the time your hard disk is allocated to your account, you put the data or you don't put the data, they keep on charging. And also it's good practice, guys, to give name. So let's say my pen drive. Okay, OS. That's all. Just give some name if you want to give. But creating a hard disk or external hard disk, typically this hard disk is known as block device, and the full name of this block device is EBS, Elastic Block Store Device. It's been created. Close. Now you can see one new hard disk come up, size 1 GB. But if you notice here, if you go next, and now the state of this hard disk is available. It means you can think your pen drive is there in a pocket, but you haven't insert your pen drive in none of your laptop USB. So it is available. But if you want to use this pen drive in this OS, right, in this OS, you have to insert the pen drive, or it is called attach the pen drive. Okay, before I attach the pen drive, let me do one thing. Okay, again go back, again run the command every somewhere. You can see there is only again one single hard disk of 8 GB. We don't have more. Again go back in this screen and just select the hard disk that you want to attach. It's called EBS volume. Okay, in the top action there's option called attach volume. Do you want to attach this volume? Okay, means you do you want to insert this particular hard disk or pen drive in your OS. I click here. And here they say you, okay, which instance you want to attach. You maybe have hundreds of instances running, right? Just click here. All the instance name that you have in your account will come up. Okay, so because I have in my account have multiple OS, right? But let me go down and let me pick the OS that is running over here. So these are two OS guys I launched today, and you can see it's running. Okay, so let me attach to first one. That's all, guys. So it's again so simple. You can think, right? You just send the signal to Amazon. Amazon has some kind of robots there. They collect the pen drive. You physically go and attach to the USB slot. You can think this might be the way, but technically it's not like this. But they have some kind of program running. Program is the one who will create the hard disk for you. Program is the one who go and attach the hard disk for you. Program is the one who will go and remove the hard disk from you. And name of the program again is called EBS. So EBS is one kind of program. There's a screen of EBS who do all the thing for you. Okay, and click attach. That's all. Now this particular external hard disk or called EBS volume is now has been attached to this OS. Now say it is in use and it is attached to this OS. Guys, Amazon behind the scene don't use normally any. They always use some ID, but this is the ID of one of my OS. Which OS? If I click here, is this OS, right? Same OS. So every OS has the ID. And now if you click on this OS again, what you see in the last, I had only one single storage. But if you click here, now you will see we have two storage. See in the last. Okay, one of 8 GB is called root, where my OS installed, and one I just attached right now that is 1 GB in size. That is been attached. So either you can check from here or you can log in inside the OS. Okay, inside the OS. And again, if you run the fdis-l command, what you will see on the fly, you don't have to shut down the OS. You don't have to go to physical data center of the Mumbai. From here, you can see one hard disk is called root hard disk. One more new hard disk come up. It is called block hard disk. Again, I can say EBS volume. Okay, the good thing about this hard disk is, okay, if you terminate this OS or corrupt this entire Linux OS completely, okay, the entire data, guys, in this 8 GB storage will removed. Okay, but none of the data of this pen drive will remove. It's like extra pen drive, and on the fly, guys, you can remove it and you can attach to the other drive. So let me show you guys how we can do this. Okay, before I do this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use some Linux command. You guys might not be comfortable with this command. Okay, so you guys, if you don't know Linux, don't worry about this command. Just think, I'm just trying to show you one demo. But after you know some basics of Linux, if you want, I will share you some of my Linux videos where I have talked about partition, how to create the partition, how to store the data in the partition. Okay, so this is not about the Linux class, but the demo that I'm going to show you, what I'm going to do, it is a new hard disk come up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put some data in this hard disk. Okay, why? Because I am going to simulate one environment here. What environment is, I am manually trying to crash this OS. And after I crash this OS, what you will see, the entire data of this OS in the main drive called slash drive will remove, but none of the data in this drive will remove. Okay, and we can very easily again connect this pen drive or drive to other OS and we can get this data back. Something like this, I just want to show you here. Okay, for this, what I have to do, one simple thing I have to do, if you want to store, guys, any data in any of the hard disk, the minimum requirement is you have to first create a partition. And inside the partition, guys, you have to format the partition. After format the partition, guys, that partition you have to connect with the OS. And this connection is called mount. then only you can store the data in any of the hard disks. So this is the actual process. Either you use Windows or Linux, any OS, in any hard disk. If you want to do this thing, this is the process you have to do. Even though if you use pen drive also, but the only thing in the pen drive, right? When you buy any pen drive from any manufacturer, they already given you pre-created partition format and mount. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the pen drive because they give you this thing. If you buy a pen drive from Samsung or HP, so you don't have to worry about it. But internally, this process is somebody has to do. Okay, so in my case, because this is a brand new hard disk I have. Okay, so I have to do first step, second, and third. That this part practical is not at all related to AWS. It's pure Linux practical. You just watch this practical as a demo if you're not able to understand the commands. Okay, but if you are interested to know more about it from very basics logically, I will share you my videos where I explain everything from very zero, how internally Parson work and why hard disk is known as block device. There's also reason why they use the term block device. Okay, so let me show you guys two or three commands we have. Okay, might be possible, guys. My phone of this screen is not properly visible. So what I'm going to do, I'm not using this web browser way. I'll copy this IP, and better I would like to use putty, so I can properly increase the font or the setting also. And username, you guys know, EC2 user @ your IP address, and you have to attach your private key. So this login guy, you know, we have done multiple times. And let me very quickly change my font size also, so it will be very much properly visible to you, and color theme also. Okay. Again, by default, guys, you'll land it to this user. Let me first log in to my root user. Again, on same OS, again on fd7l command, you will see you are in the same OS. Okay. Now you have two hard disks. This is the first one, this second one. But my intention is to store some data in the hard disk, because hard disk is meant for data, right? We have to store the data. The first step, I have to first create a partition inside this hard disk. And for this, guys, in the Linux, we have command called fdisk, and then your hard disk name. Okay, guys, this the complete name is your hard disk name. So fdisk is a command through which I can go inside the hard disk. And then if you want to create a new partition, there's option called here n means create a new partition. Okay, first partition called primary, I just enter. First partition enter. Size enter. That's all. So technically I've done enter 4 times. Technically it means I wanted to create only one single partition that consume the whole space of my pen drive. That's meaning. So technically, guys, creating the partition is so simple. Just run this command, the new partition, and enter 4 times, and finally you come back to this screen and save it. W. That's all. So this is the way you can create new partition in the Linux. Okay, so it means this part is done. If you want to create a partition, it's done. If you want to confirm, you can confirm with fd7l command. You can say in this hard disk, now you can see one number new partition come up of around 1024, means around 1 GB partition, because hard disk size 1 GB has been created. Okay, now if you want to dump any data in this hard disk, you have to format it. Why format? I'm not going to discuss here, but this is one of the command we can use in Linux to format any of the partition. So this is the name of the partition. We always format the partition. We never format the hard disk. So we are formatting the C drive or D drive. Okay, something like this. And this is one command. There's no space here. In the middle, we have a dot. So this is only command, but this is the just one command to format the partition. Okay, format the partition. And now, if you want to put any data, like in Windows, we have to create these drives. Okay, so creating this drive is called mount. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So for this, I have to first create one folder here. Let's say my drive. And this particular partition that I used here, where it is, this particular partition, where is this one? I am going to link to this particular folder. That's all. So you can think, guys, this is a person inside your hard disk. I'm linking this person to this folder. And you can think that this folder is like a D drive or E drive or F drive. And you know, when you attach your pen drive, one new drive come up. So here, guys, you can give any drive name. I give my drive as a drive name. But it is called mount. So guys, this is the third step you have to do. Okay, so all the steps done. Now, finally, my hard disk that I created new in the Amazon cloud and attached on the fly is ready to use to store any data. It's done. But don't worry, guys, if you don't understand the steps, I'm not trying to explain you also, because it's a long topic, right? I think 2 or 3 lecture I had done only just in parts and topic. So I'll share all the 2 or 3 videos to you. I highly suggest go through video. Even though for the earth learner, I highly suggest to go to all the videos. Okay. So that's all is ready. And if you want to confirm also, you can run df-h command. This will tell you in Linux, the main drive is less that I show you already. That was there in 8 GB, where my where my root hard disk connected. So if this system corrupt, this entire drive /drive, everything data will be corrupted. But now we have one more drive. See here, this one. This is the one drive we have connected. It's coming from this hard disk. And if you notice one thing, the name is called SXVDA A, and this is F. Technically, they are 2 different hard disks. Okay, and this hard disk coming from EBS. Okay, means whatever data I put here, it would be permanent, even though OS is corrupt. So let me show you one demo. I'm going to I'll go inside this folder. Okay, and I'm going to create one file. So guys, in the Linux, if you want to create the file, we can use cat command. You can give some file name, hit enter, say hi Linux world, enter, and you want to come out. Then we have a shortcut called Control D, left Control D, and you can see ls file created. You can see cat command to read the data also. This symbol you use to create a file, and this command we can use to read the data. That's all. So technically, very basic command. Okay. So technically, what I have done in this particular folder or in this particular drive, you can see in this drive I'm in, I create one file with some data. Okay. Now it is exactly like this, the way I explained you. This is the setup we have is exactly like this. Now in this OS of Linux running somewhere, maybe in laptop, maybe in the cloud, we have 2 different drive // and this one. This drive coming from this hard disk, and this hard disk called root hard disk. This drive coming from this hard disk, and this hard disk called EBS hard disk, like a pen drive. Now, if this OS corrupt, entire data / and this will be corrupted. Okay, but none of the data of this guy will corrupt. Or let's say there's other requirement, like if you want to remove this hard disk right from this OS like a pen drive, and I want to attach to other laptop, we can do it. But this hard disk we can't do. So let me show you guys this demo how we can do it. Okay. So for this, I just one minute. I just go out from my drive first. I just go out. Why we will discuss in a minute. Okay. Now what practical I'm going to show you is very interesting practical. Right. What I'm going to do here. Okay. I'll again go to my pen drive or my hard disk, and I ask this pen drive right now is connected to OS number 1. Okay. So you know what I'm going to do? Let's say you can think in this way. You can think in this way. Now you have 2 different laptops, but you have one single pen drive, and this pen drive is connected here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this pen drive from here, and same pen drive I'm going to connect this guy. That's what, guys, I like to show you. Okay. So this screen is my first laptop, and I'm going to connect to second laptop. My second laptop I'm going to connect from here directly. This is my second laptop. So I'm connecting this laptop directly from this web page or web screen. And in this laptop, again, I'm logging to root account to check the total number of hard disks are connected. Only they have one single hard disk. Okay. So now what we are going to do from my first laptop, this is my first laptop, I'm going to remove this hard disk. Okay. How? For this, I'll go to my my EBS worst volume. This is the hard disk we have. I select the name, and on the top we have option called action, and there's option called detach. That's all. It is exactly like that you remove a pen drive, right, from your laptop. It is exactly like this. So I'm detaching my pen drive or external hard disk or EBS volume from sorry, from this OS. Okay. And now if you refresh, it's still there processing. It takes some time, maybe. And sometime you will see it will be available in use. Not in use, it will be available. After they're available, okay, then it means you can think your pen down now in the packet, in your pocket, where you want to connect, you can connect on the fly. Okay, that's what I would like to show you here. So just wait some second or minute they consume. I think they might have done. It's still in use. Sometime they consume some time because they've seen they're already loaded. And normally, guys, you know what? Whenever you do anything, but yeah, if you notice from this OS, it is still connected. It takes some time. They remove. Normally what happens, there's some concept in the Linux OS or Windows also. If you are using a pen drive, they lock the pen drive or lock the device, and till the time they lock, the my this program won't allow to disconnect. So either you can reboot the system and there's some other file options we have to unlock this, or just wait for some time, they will remove. Or there's a one more option here. If you don't want to wait, the option called force detach, you can use this option. They forcefully remove it. You can just forcefully remove the pen drive and from this OS. That's what also you can do, right? So let's see. Let me remove. Let me refresh in the top, and now you'll see it's still available. It will normally come in some seconds. It is still connected. I just wait for some second. It will come up. Yeah, from here it is removed. That's nice. So according to according to instance page, you can see only one hard disk left. They remove. Even though if you go to the OS also, right now this is my Linux OS, the OS number 1. Last time we had this hard disk, it should be removed. It is still there. It's still there. I don't like this because sometimes I don't like this program. Some program says there, some program. So I can say they're not sometime mature enough to update. But let's wait for some time. Let me go to this page again. This page. It is still waiting. Actually, some operation we have we have provided to. Okay, this guy. One guy's reason would be there. If you guys ever work on Linux, right? Right. Normally, you know what happened? Normally, if you have attached any device, especially storage device, and when you connect the storage device, how you connect? You link it, and link is called mount. Okay. So guys, when you same thing in Windows also, when you connect the pen drive, normally in the last here in the bottom bar, the pen drive icon come up, and it's always good practice to there's option called pen drive called remove safely. Okay, it's always good practice. There's some kind of reason, otherwise your data might lose, right? Same thing Amazon doing, and they say your pen drive is still connected and mounted in some folder. So if I remove it, it will lose your data. That will be your fault to lose data, but you claim to Amazon that because Amazon cloud our data has been lost. That might be reason, guys. They are not actually uh, removing it for you. Okay, so if you want to remove, now it's remove. It takes some time, but the way I did is not the good practice, right? The good practice is, okay, in this OS, 1 minute, average command. Now I can see is still there, but from there they remove. So in this OS, what you have to do, okay, this drive is already connected. You have to connect this, and for this we have a command called unmount, called umount, and then give you a drive name. Okay, so it's always good practice. Even though if you don't do, they will free after some time. So according to Amazon is free, according to you, parts are already connected. So a lot of confusion come up, and if you try to store any data, it will fail. So a lot of issue will come up, right? So technically, what I'm trying to tell you, it is always good practice. Even though from Windows also, if pen drive connected, you can directly remove it forcefully. But according to us, pen drive removed. It is in our hand, right? According to Windows, pen drive exists. Some processing is also going on. So a lot of kind of issue of data loss will happen, right? So if you go to my last person classes, there I also talk something about this. Okay, so that is the reason, guys. This kind of difference you see according to this page, pen drive removed. According to OS, pen drive is not removed. So I suggest, in simple term, before you detach from this portal, first run this command, unlink this, unmount this. Now you can see it is unlinked. Then just go and attach it or remove it. Okay, so let's come to our one point. So finally, this is the commands I have written. I run this command. After I run, I come to this page, select the option, and I attach detach from here. In my case, it detached. Okay. And now why I did this? Because from first laptop, I would like to remove the pen drive, and I would like to connect this pen drive to my second laptop. That's my plan is. But still in my second laptop, this pen drive is not connected. How I know? 1 minute. It becomes slower, right? So 1 minute. Let me again connect to my first laptop. So second one. So let me connect. So in my second laptop or second instance, I don't have any new hard disk pen drive come up, right? There's no new come up, right? So how to get it? Okay, but why to get, right? Why is important here? Because the pen drive that I'm going to connect to the second laptop is coming from first one, and all the data I store in the first one, you can get in the second one. That's the reason, guys, why we use the pen drive normally. So this option called attached, right? That's all. So I'm going to attach this particular hard disk, but now this time I'm going to attach in the second OS here, second one, not first one. So you can see, guys, all the OS lists come up. You just go and attach. That's all. Okay. Within some second, normally it takes some second here to update the attaching. But if you directly go to OS, you will see now one new hard disk come up. And guys, if you notice one small thing, right? In this hard disk, we already have one person already created. Okay. Why this person is created in my first OS? And the first OS has already formatted. In the first OS, they already put some data inside this OS. The only thing that you have to do in this OS, you have to connect this person to one of your drive. And for this, you have to create a drive. Drive is like a folder. Let's say my drive. And how to connect? Again, this command you have to run only once. But if you notice one thing, I am not again creating a new person, or I'm not again formatting this guy. I just linking these guys. It is something like this. When you attach the pen drive always create a new drive for you, because this is the black screen. So in the black screen of Linux, you have to do it manually. But if it is Linux GUI, graphical Linux, they will automatically do work for you. Okay. And now the interesting thing is, I want to show you here is this new drive created, and if you go inside this new drive, okay, what you will see, the data that I save in my first OS, it will be come up here. See here, this is the exact data I created in my first laptop, right? If I show get my data also, you can see this data come up. Okay, so guys, understand one small thing. If you guys are new in Linux, right, in one single go, understanding this command might not be possible. So please don't focus on the command. Again, repeat, don't focus on the command. Okay, just only understood the process here. Process means what I'm going to show you here. My intention is to show you the use of EBS. Okay, the EBS volume, this one, this EBS, use of this EBS. Okay, use of this EBS means where we can use this OS. So if you want to share your data between two laptops, okay, connect the pen drive here, copy data and copy here. Or in this laptop, any data that is external, I mean, it means you want to keep it safe after the OS terminate, data won't lose. Okay, these are the scenarios or the use cases requirement where you can use EBS as a as a volume. Okay, so guys, this is a use case. So as we go forward, maybe some kind of small other requirement might also come up. I will discuss you there. Now guys, after you understood this, don't focus again in the commands. Anybody can learn it very easily. Okay, understand the use case is important. Okay, now guys, I'm going to give you one interesting task to you, okay, as a homework related to this topic. Okay, very interesting. Let's see who can do. Okay, so it is an open task for everyone, for the guys who are just in AWS training with me right now, and the guys who are in the Earth Learner program also, or Earth program also. So it is for all. Very interesting task, very unique task. Let's see who can do. Okay, the task is something like this. Okay, right now the scenario that you have seen is something like this. I am running my laptop, means I mean to say EC2 instance in my AWS cloud in Mumbai. So on the same cloud, I borrow one hard disk called EBS volume or pen drive. So this is my OS or this is my pen drive. Okay, both are coming from same Amazon company or data center. Okay, because they are coming from same data center, I have connected this pen drive to this OS and working fine. And how to connect? So simple, just one click on the top and we attached. So it's pretty straightforward, nothing fancy. Okay, this part is very simple, right? Now your task is something like this. Okay, this guy is also on the cloud. Okay, this guy is also on the cloud. Now what I want, okay, right now everybody is sitting in the front of your laptop. This is my laptop. Okay, and everybody might have some real pen drive, physical pen drive with you. Okay, let's say you have one pen drive of company of HP, for example. Let's say 4 GB in size. Okay, what I want, guys, from you, this real pen drive is there with you physically. This pen drive is not there with you, even though you can use in your OS in the cloud, but is there somewhere on the cloud. And something that is there somewhere on the cloud, but you can use real, are also known as logical. Or I can use the word called virtual. So this pen drive is the virtual pen drive. Means you can use it. You're using here, put the data, read the data, everything you're doing here. But if you want to touch this pen drive physically from your hand, you can't do. So that is the reason it's called virtual resources or the virtual pen drive. Okay, but here I'm talking about that right now you might have one real external hard disk or external pen drive, or I say physical pen drive. Now what you have to do, you have to create some process, some way and some method that this pen drive, if you attach in your laptop, obviously, okay, in your laptop, real laptop, okay, it will connect to this OS. Again, I'm repeating, okay, if I connect any pen drive in this laptop that you're seeing right now, that is my Windows laptop, is a real physical laptop, I can touch this guy, okay, but I don't want Windows will use this. I want this pen drive physical via internet or via networking. It will reach to Mumbai And in their Mumbai, in their USB slot of Mumbai data center, issued instance, my pen drive will connect. Okay, so it is something like this. I'm trying to connect my my physical uh, device to the virtual OS on the cloud. It's called virtual OS. Okay, so this is one task or homework I just want to give you. And for doing this task, you can use any of the blog, document, Google, whatever you want to research. Ask somebody, you can do it. But let's see who can do. And for this task, I'm giving 6-7 days. Next week, I will give the answer from my side, but I want you guys also try. Okay. You can think it's like a small competition. We also have some small cash prize for you guys. Okay, let's just go and try it. So all the technical wonder of the AWS, I want please post this answer, question properly in the group so that everybody have documented what they have to do. Okay. So one task from my side. Let's come back to our main topic. Okay. So high level guys, I have discussed about the storage. Let me tell you one more small thing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to launch one more OS. Okay. And guys, intentionally, I am going to launch this OS in Mumbai only, but in subnet 1B. Okay, you guys know subnet. For you guys, it is like a AG or data center 1B. Okay, why I'm doing this, I will going to explain you in a minute. Again, obviously every OS require a root storage that we have. No extra pen drive connecting here. Tag, this is my OS number 3rd. So why I'm showing this spectacle, I will explain you in a minute. That's all. Okay. Now, an interesting thing is, guys, in the Amazon AWS cloud, almost every services, okay, every services are the regional services. I told you guys in my last classes. For example, EC2. So if you launch any instance in the Mumbai region, same instance you can't see in the Virginia or maybe Tokyo region. Okay, so I can say EC2 is a regional services. Okay, so mostly all the services are regional, but there are some service they are global. What is global? We'll discuss when I go for S3. So S3 is a global service. We'll discuss there. Okay, but there's some service they are not the global, they are not the regional, they are per data center wise service or per availability zone wise service, or you can say zonal services. Okay, what I mean by this. Okay, for this, let me show you one demo. You understand automatically. So I'm going to, I have launched this OS, and this OS right now, if you see in detail, this OS right now running in AG called 1B. I showed you already, but maybe somewhere they write. It should be there somewhere. Just go and find. It is running in 1B. Okay. Okay. This OS EC2 is running in 1B. Okay. And I have one external hard disk or pen drive. It's called ABS volume. Okay. And that time when I created ABS volume, I haven't shown that option, but this ABS volume is created on the real data center of Mumbai in 1A. Okay. So if I go to my ABS volume, where it is this one, and this ABS volume, this one is created in 1A. Okay. Now what I'm trying to tell you right now is in use. So my plan is to connect this pen drive to this OS. Interesting thing is, because the Amazon guys, we always get the space or resources from their data center, and the group of these data center always belong to a region. So by chance, guys, both the data center belong to same region. Okay, like so Mumbai. But in the EBS, guys, challenge is EBS say if you create any EBS volume or storage, and if you try to connect this EBS to any instance, maybe in the same region, okay, but if that instance is running in the different data center, I won't allow, because I am a zonal services. Means I work in the same zone, same age. What I mean by this, let me show you. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I just want to first detach this OS so I can try to connect with other OS. And guys, understand one thing, the best way to detach is first go to the OS where they connected. Okay, here. And if you're inside the drive or folder, guys, they always, so this pen drive is connected to this OS. I'm going inside this OS because it's Amazon Linux 2 version, so I can directly connect in my browser. Okay, and need to first log in with root account. Okay, and this hard disk actually already connected. This person of the 1 GB hard disk is connected to this particular drive. So you have to unlink it. Okay. Sometimes guys, they say busy. There's multiple reasons why they say busy, because last time my session was disconnected, I was still there inside. So a lot of things, reason might be right. So you can forcefully unlink, have an option called L. This is called lazy. L means lazy unmount, or you can say forcefully disconnect from the OS and removed. Okay. So guys, you know what I'm trying to tell you? Whenever you want connect any pen drive, extra hard disk, just go to your respective OS, first remove from there. Then if your physical pen drive, remove obviously physically from your hand, by your hand, because right now they are running in the AWS. So you just come here, because this pen drive is there in AWS. Now here, if you just go and attach, so detach. So this is the right method, right? There's a lot of reason behind this. As you go forward, some more detail about the storage world, you guys come to know why we have to follow these steps. Okay, well, finally it will remove or detach. Now my plan, guys, because this pen drive is there in 1A, 1A, I would like to connect this pen drive again to my third OS. Now challenge is third OS in 1B. Okay, so can we connect this pen drive from 1A to 1B? Both belong to the same region, right? But can we connect? That's the point. It takes some time, guys, to come up. Okay, very quickly, let me check from here also. FD7L, they're still here. It takes some time to remove. Or if you want to do a little faster, just to force full details. It's not a good option, but if you want to do it faster to be detached, it will do it. And why is not good option, we might discuss in the future. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you guys here, when you try to connect 1B, it won't work. So by the meantime they remove, I just want to create one more to show you. So whenever guys you create any volume or EBS volume, here they ask you which availability zone you would love to keep this guy. They always ask you, because they say you are in Mumbai, 3 zones you have. So you have to plan, you have to plan which OS finally you want to connect. And you think you will have to connect this pen drive or this EBS volume to the OS that is running in 1C, then create this hard disk 1C. Because EBS volume is a zonal based services. Means if you create this hard disk in 1C data center, then you can connect to any of the OS. Okay, that is the part of 1C only. Otherwise, they won't work. That's the small thing I just want to tell you. Okay, that's all. I just want to show you also here. So if it is available, let's use text. Yeah, now it's available to connect. Now I'm trying to connect this OS again to OS. Even though if you notice here, they still say that because your volume is the part of 1A, I'm only allowing you to connect only 1A instances. And if you try to list, you won't see any OS that is coming from 1B or 1C. Okay, I created one OS called OS 2. There's no name of OS 2 come up because it's not allowed you to connect. And why it's not allowed? Okay, when I go for more deep dive into EBS, when I go more deep dive into EBS service, that time I will explain you logically why they don't allow. And when I go for more deep dive into EBS, when you try to solve this particular question, the question that I give to you, okay, because that deep dive is somehow related to this task. Okay, so I will explain that. And guys, this task or this kind of task is not ever, never discussed in any of the AWS training. Okay, but I think it's always good to know something extra out of the program, right? So that any kind of requirement come in the industries, right? Maybe some kind of custom requirement. It is something like this. EC2 is running on the cloud, and this laptop is running on my company data center. It's called on premises. So technically, by this example, I am trying to connect on premises storage to the cloud instances. So it is again great example, right? So maybe you have a requirement to connect this kind of this kind of thing you want to do. So how we can do that? You have to think. Okay. So this is something about ABS. There's lots of options we can do in the ABS. I don't want to invest today's the time. There's called volume types and IOPS and throughputs or encryptions. We will discuss, guys, almost or not almost every component here, and the use case, especially IOPS use case. What is the mean of this IOPS? Okay, we will discuss that. But I just want to keep this today's lecture light, especially for those guys who are new in AWS. Okay. So this is the one of the topic, guys, we have discussed about EBS, and two type of volume we have discussed. One is root and one is EBS. Understand one thing, a lot of guys also say root is equals to ephemeral. They are not. So root is not actually equal to ephemeral. Okay. What is ephemeral? I want to discuss, even though very simple to discuss the ephemeral right now. But I would like to discuss the ephemeral when the topic of IOPS come in play, right? Because that time I will explain you something about the performance part of the storage, and ephemeral is more related to performance. Okay, so otherwise creating the ephemeral is so simple, but I don't want to discuss right now. When the topic come up, we will discuss. Okay, so finally, according to my storage topic, guys, three kind of storage we have. But if you have a requirement, right? So my requirement now is very clear. If you have a requirement in the storage, if you want to create a partition, if this is a requirement, then you have to go for block storage. Because in the object storage or in the file storage, we don't have an option to create a partition. For example, if you go to Google Drive and say, can you create 2GB partition there? Impossible. We can't create there. Okay. So you want to create a partition, you have to go for block storage. And why we need the partition? Because without creating the partition, it is impossible to install the OS. Okay. And some more benefits we have. So when we go more deep dive into the storage world, you come to know. Okay. Right now, if I discuss, it will be confusing for you. Okay. So, but yeah, we will discuss in the future. Now let's come to this topic of object storage. Okay. Again, it's a vast topic. Lots of things here in this topic to be covered, but at least I would like to very quickly kickstart this topic. Okay. So what is object storage? In simple term, okay, if you don't want to manage your storage, what I mean by this. So guys, if you remember right now, when I buy the hard disk, I manually go create the partition, format the partition, mount the partition, right? Lots of things we have to do, right? Or maybe something also we have to do. Maybe in the future, in the future, right now you buy the Penta 1GB, right? And suddenly 1GB been consumed and you want 10GB, then 10GB consumed, you want 1000 GB. Okay, so can you increase the size of parcel? Some trick we have in the OS, we can do it, but it would be very technical or very much, uh, we have to type the commands and configure it, right? So technically what I want, guys, right, final motto, right, if you and try to understand the final motto, okay, why we need the storage or the pen drive. The final motto is we have to copy data. This is the final motto, right? Any kind of storage you need. And guys, if you want to store any data, right, we have to create the file. So again, it is impossible that without the file, there is no way available to store the data directly in the hard disk. We have to create the file. Okay, and if you want to create the file, you have to always create a folder. And folder is also compare with a drive. You have to create a drive. Like C drive is what is again one kind of folder. So either you can say folder or drive is same thing. Okay, so these folder or drive are the one are the one who manage all the file. Inside the file, we manage all the data. So we can say the folder or the drive are the one who manage my file. So they are also known as file system, FS. So either you can use the word drive or you can use the folder or you can use the word file system is same thing. Okay, because they manage the file and inside the file we manage the data. Okay, now point is again the word here is called manage. So if you want to manage the data, you create a file. If you want to create a file, you create a drive. And if you want to create a drive, again, you go back, right? For the drive, you first parson, create a file parson, then format it, the link is mounted. And the future, if drive space of parson pen drive full or occupied, right, allocated completely, then have to increase it. There's a way we can increase the size of the parson. Okay, so it's a long process, right? But we can do it. But for as such, for non-technical guys, they don't know so much about the storage. For them, doing those part, managing those part is very complex. Okay, so what can we do? What can we do? Okay, so we have to first understood the final outcome, the need. Final outcome and need is this. That's all. That's the only thing my customer want. Okay, they are not bothered about from where you manage software, which company storage you're taking up. Okay, which format you format, how you format, which how many command you run, how technical you are, what your drive name COD. They are not at all concerned about this point. Their concern, if you talk about the customer, is for one thing. Okay, I want my file in a data to be saved and secure. Okay, I will keep it forever. And how you manage, we don't know. Okay, so for this, what can we do? We'll tell my customers now from onwards. Okay, if this is a requirement, okay, you just want to keep your file. And again, when I say file means image, video, software, everything is a file. So we say file. So customers say if you want to keep the file, now for onward, you don't have to manage the file storage and partition and format by yourself. And now we have some service on the cloud. Okay, you just come here and we will provide a storage to you. And that is the reason, guys, this name is become so famous in the market. Is called cloud storage. But technically, you know what they're trying to do, tell you? They say everything we will manage for you. You don't have to worry. You just come here and copy your file there and read your file from there or download for file from there. Technical copy means upload the file there. Why upload? Because right now I'm in my laptop, and if you want to use cloud always would be internet. So if you copy any file in the cloud storage, example Google Drive, a Dropbox, for us we feel we are copying, but technically they are going over the internet, means they're uploading. And when you read the file by double click, we feel it is reading, but technically they are internally downloading from the internet. Then we can read. So it all depends upon the internet speed. There's all decide how fast you can read and write. Okay, so we say I'm a customer now. All of a storage management we will do in the cloud. So we will provide a cloud storage. It's so simple. Anybody who know how to open the browser, they just go where my drive format. They just go and open this drive and read the thing. It's so simple. Anybody can use it. Nobody have to manage the parser and format. And I don't think so, guys. Every time in the Google Drive, you just create a parser format and do it. You just copy here, upload the file, and read the file. That's all. Okay. So they say we are giving a service for cloud storage, but in the technical term, we can say we know for you is a file, but for us as a cloud guys, for us we treat these guys as an individual object. Why they say this, we will discuss again in some time. Okay. So the cloud company say we are providing you object storage as service. Means everything we manage, only thing that you have to do, you have to upload your object and download the object, means files. Yeah, that's all you do. Example is again Dropbox and Google Drive, or maybe SkyDrive or other drives we have available. Okay, so technically either you can use the term object storage service or some cloud. Especially if you go to Google Cloud, they don't use this big word. They say cloud storage. So cloud storage, if somebody say it means object storage service only. Okay, but because right now we are learning AWS. So in AWS they have a service called service product name called S3. So S3 is a object storage as service or a cloud service. So technically I can use one simple term for this. What is S3? S3 is a managed service. For what? For storage. And guys, there's a good thing about the cloud. This is the managed term we're going to use and see multiple times. There are lots of things AWS provide, any cloud provide. They say everything we will manage for you. Okay, you just go and use us. That's all. Okay, that's called managed service. And one of the famous example and the product from AWS that is managed, or I can say fully managed. Okay, why I say fully is a very interesting term. When I go for some other topic like Beanstalk or maybe other topic, right? I will discuss this word fully managed means, right? But S3 is the fully managed service just for storage. They say launching the OS, networking, creating parson, providing storage to you, security. Okay, if your storage been left out, means exhausted, 10 GB you want to increase to 100 and 1000 million billion, I will do on the fly for you. Everything we will do for you. It's fully managed by our engineers, cloud say. You just come here and start putting the data. That's all. And guys, it's so powerful. One of the reasons why Amazon become famous or AWS cloud become famous because of this service. Because of the service. This is one of the reasons. Because they say so managed, so powerfully managed, right? If you want some storage from me, right, we are giving you almost unlimited storage, almost. Okay, you just say how much you can pay to us. You want 1 terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, right? We will provide this storage too. Interesting thing is, like it look like this one pen drive they provide you. Okay, and you can attach to a laptop, or you can get this kind of screen. Sorry, this kind of screen. Okay, and start uploading data as much as you want. Size maybe petabyte, terabyte, how much you want. They say you don't have to worry. We will behind the scene keep on increasing the size for you. Obviously you have to pay. We keep on increasing for you. So my storage is like elastic. It's like elastic, unlimited. How much you want, we provide. Almost unlimited, I can say. And second thing, the very powerful thing about this storage is, right, for example, if you store your data in your pen drive, so do you have any guarantee your data won't lose? Pen drive is a device, right? Anytime it will fail, right? Nobody can give the guarantee of this device. But Amazon say we are also using a storage, some kind of devices of some company we're using, but we are giving a guarantee. Okay, whatever data you put inside our storage, it won't delete, it won't terminate. It will be exist ever till the time you manually delete it. Okay, this concept is called durability. Okay, durability. Okay, so your data would be durable. Okay, right? Whatever happened, the way we are managing, obviously in turn they are creating multiple copies of it in multiple locations. Okay, even though they say 1 or 2 or 3 data center also been goes down, or maybe my hard disk corrupted, but your data won't won't remove. Okay, so they are giving the guarantee of 99.99959 percent guarantee they are giving. And then one more concept, guys, here is, okay, they're giving the guarantee that whatever data you put, why you're putting this data in our storage, cloud storage, so that in the future you can read it. Okay, for the company, for example, they are putting a lot of their real-time data about customer feedback or reports of the company, right? So why are they putting? So in the future, they would like to keep read this data on the fly, right? So, or some transaction data they want to put, or log they want to put. We'll discuss lots all other use case in the future. Okay, so I want, after I put the data, means save the data, it's called write the data. Whenever I want to read, I want to read it. It means whenever I want my data to be available for read. This is called availability. But let's say you store data in Amazon Mumbai data center, and for 2 days data center goes down due to some physical disaster. Okay, so Amazon say, no, my data center is down. Your data is durable. Your data won't lose. After 2 days, you can see the data. Durability is there, but it's down for 2 days or 3 days. So it's not available for you. It's called non-availability. So that's good for the customer, right? Because they want data to be read right now, because they have to do some marketing planning or some other things they want to do. Okay, so Amazon is giving the guarantee of availability of 11 nines, 99.999999 11 times. 11 nines guarantee. It's called 11 nines. Data. It's very famous term, even though if you if you go for Amazon SA, AWS S3 11 nines, this is famous term, right? I'm sorry, guys, I just give it the wrong, just reverse. So durability is 11 nines, is 11 nines. Sorry, guys, is for 11 nines, and availability is 5 nines. Availability. Okay. So they're designed for durability. This one, it means in millions of years, one single byte might miss of your data. You can just try to compare in this one. that much guarantee they are giving you in the durability of data. Means whatever data you write there, you won't lose the data. Maybe they are down for some days, but when they come back again, the data will be there. That's called durability. But they also design for this much, 4 nines, or sometimes they also write 5 nines. Okay. Okay. Availability over the year, even though it means they are always available. Okay. They say maybe in hundreds of years, maybe some second or some totality, we might down. Okay. So obviously when I down, you won't able to read it, but after we come back, it's called online again, you can read the data. Okay, something like that. But for the company, maybe everybody obviously is important, but maybe our system is down for 1 minute, that's okay for me. But durability is very critical, right? As such, this kind of durability nobody give you, right? If you purchase the best hard disk, or not on the best hard disk, you also purchase 10 different hard disks also and keep on copying your data. Okay, even though you won't able to reach that much of durability. So they have powerful engineering they have done for us for achieving this durability. Okay, so S3 say, right, getting the storage, creating the partition is not big deal. My service is everything. We have the best storage. We create a pre-created format partition. We give the drive directly to you. You don't have to worry about more you need. I will scale, keep on elastic, means keep on increasing the size of the storage for you. Durability, availability, networking, security, engineers, storage guys, everything, whatever you need, we have in place. Okay, we have the best engineer for this. Okay, so it is a fully managed service. Everything is managed by us. And finally, we will give you this kind of page. By then, this is the Google Drive, but we give this kind of page. You just go and upload your file and download a file. That's the only thing you have to do. Okay, otherwise everything managed by us. So guys, using the S3 is so simple. It's not big deal. The way you use Google Drive, same way you can use S3. Okay, but I just want to tell you behind the scene, how much power they have given to us. Okay, that's one thing. So how to use S3? Um, so guys, this practical let's pick tomorrow, because when I start the S3, even though there's not a lot of not a lot of things we have to do, okay, but there's a lot of concepts over there about S3 and multiple different features they also have. So I will to touch some of the feature also in tomorrow class, right? So I just want to do this class till now. One small announcement: those guys who are the Earth learner, not for all, guys who are Earth learner. So guys, you again have one more class, the way I told you yesterday also in your class. So this class will be on Python, and this class will be accommodated with the IAC Rise. So in my IAC Rise, Python is going on. So there's some topic that is common between this guy and you guys, and that topic, guys, I'm picking today. Okay, so some 4-5 classes of Python will be common, and that will be conducted with the IAC Rise on weekends. So for that also, I will do Earth classes, but 8:30 today, every Earth learner have to attend this class. We will provide a separate link for this. This link would be about the YouTube link. This is again live class, not recorded class, live class, but it will be with the IAC Rise. Okay, so very important topic for the Python that you're going to help you in further data science. Okay, so one few announcement for you. Other guys, any question, guys, for today's topic in AWS, for anybody, you guys can ask me. So when I read data from the cluster by client source, guys, don't ask me any question about Hadoop. Only ask about AWS question, right? Just ask your Hadoop class, Hadoop question in Hadoop classes. What is the actual hardware storage used by AWS? Any difference? Anil, I think your question might not clear, but I think you are talking about the real hard storage. Normally, they use some kind of appliances from Hitachi or Dell EMC. So they have the big boxes. That's called appliances, and inside the appliances they have a hard disk available. Normally, these data center use those kind of appliances actually, not the normal hard disk the way we have. So those hard disks are always very powerful in the terms of performance, in terms of all the things. They won't crash normally, or other things they also have, right? What a major difference in file system? Himanshu, which difference do you talking about? Okay, so which to whom you're comparing, guys? File system is just a term. So the normally you say drive, right? C drive. So instead you use C drive, you can also use the term called file system. It's the same thing. So don't worry, I will share some of my Linux videos where I explain you one very basics about file system and the partisans. If you want to, guys, learn something extra, you can go through the videos. Yes, Nikhil, we can increase the size of the particular partition. So with the average command also, we have a way. Normally in the real world, we normally use LVM as a partition to increase it. Is it possible to connect ABS to another instance? No, Nikhil. By default, any EBS that you have, if you want to connect to the any other instance, another account, by default we can't do, but we have some way. I will show you maybe tomorrow. Okay, so we can share our EBS to other guys by some process. What is that process? We will, if you want, we will discuss maybe tomorrow. Can we attach virtual pen drive to? Yes, also Tejas, you can also connect virtual pen drive. I think you're talking about the storage that you connect in your virtual VMs. So that's also you can do. The same answer that you will find that you find how to connect physical pen drive from a laptop to a cloud. Same answer we can go for virtual pen drive also. Can we connect EBS to, yes, Chala, yes, in the reverse also, you can connect EBS to physical system also, reverse. Again, the same process that we use from physical to virtual, same we can do here, but you have to find the answer. Raghav, the same way you can share the drive with Windows also. Just go and create the hard disk and EBS volume and attach to the attach to the RDP. Not RDP. RDP is way to connect. Attach to the Windows instance. And after connecting the RDP, you can see one more extra hard disk come in the Windows. RAID guys, Himanshu is a way to connect multiple hard disks in one single laptop, just for mirroring or replica or something, right? So we might discuss in the future if we need, right? Yes, Chetan Kumar, we can attach details, the hard disk from the CLI also. Maybe not from today, tomorrow, but from next weekend, I will start moving our practical to the to the CLI, right? So we also start doing everything from the CLI. So I'll show you how to attach and details from the CLI. Where did you read all these things? Mostly I do research by myself, right? So as such, there's no location. Yes, Gautam, data science, we will start in this weekend, I told you. But today, I'm taking some class that is a base for data science. So some of the concept of Python we require. So data science will start tomorrow. But today's class, we require some concept of Python that help us in the data science. EBS is free a month, 30 GB per month they give you free EBS. Lucky, I will discuss the IOPS in the, I told you guys, some of the topic I highlighted already. In upcoming class, I will explain you IOPS, throughputs, and other things. If you want to keep a pen drive anywhere in any region, AWS, yes, we can, Sobit, we can do it. You can keep your EBS volume anywhere in the region. But how can we connect? This is one of the practical I have. Most probably maybe tomorrow, I will try to show you this practical. Okay. So if you have EBS in any other region, how can you connect to your Mumbai region? Anirudh, it is how AWS get unlimited storage. It is like unlimited means depend how much you need. They say whatever you need, we will provide to you. You pay, right? So you say 1 GB. So they might don't have, but they arrange, right? Because as a customer says we want, so they will arrange for you. Even though they have some limit, obviously, but my mean to say is unlimited is whatever access normally we need on the current today's use cases. Okay, that much they have. That I means by unlimited here. Shubham, I already explained in the object and block. Object is fully managed. You don't have to create any person. In block, they only give you raw hard disk. Everything you have to manage. You have to create a person, mount, and manually do further things, right? This is the main difference. One of the difference you can say. Yes, Nikhil, you can try with this tool, Ramina. Just try. It is working. Yes, Parth, we can host the website also from S3. I'll show you how to do. It's pretty simple to do. Well, I'll show you. Why do format the drive? Vikrant, this is not at all actually the topic I can pick in AWS class. But yeah, I will share my Linux videos from very basics and logical concept I explained there in detail. What is a use of format and why we have to format. Lots of things we have discussed there. I highly recommend to go through the videos. Himanshu, you can go for ext2, XFS, ext4. ext2 nowadays nobody use, but you can pick XFS or ext4 for as a format type. Okay. Difference is again, if you go to my videos, they are explaining you the detailed difference between XFS and ext4 in my Linux parts and video classes. Tabish, this is the question I will explain you. I told you today why EBS is a regional. Okay, there is a reason for this. So when I go for performance discussion of EBS, I will discuss there. Yes, we can clone Rahul. We can clone EBS in one zone to other. So when I go for topic or snapshot in EBS, I will discuss how we can do. Yes, Saswant, actually they technically uh, they're different due to some more reason also. Okay, so I will talk more about how object work. So they use some other protocol like HTTPS or block storage. They use iSCSI or FC. So you'll come to know technically also they are very much different architect they have created behind the scene. Okay. Why some storage decrease when we format? Again, this answer Rahul also you can get from my video of Linux. I discussed there why they decrease. Lifecycle Akash we will discuss when I start the S3, right? Obviously, guys, when this respect topic come up, I will discuss everything. Obviously, from the very zero, so that everybody can link it properly. So yes, we can connect Shruti S3 to EC2. I have some practical for this. I'll show you how to connect S3 to EC2. We can connect. It is something like this. Can you connect your laptop to Google Drive? Why? Yes, and why you guys know. Similar kind of use case will come up. So we can connect S3 to the EC2. How much S3 is? I think Webo. I think 5 GB is free. S3 in your free trial. Sumit, I think very basic of S3 we discussed in the last, but actually S3 we will actually implement tomorrow. A snapshot maybe we might discuss tomorrow. I need to control D. I just used to come out from the file. So this, guys, what are you asking? Almost everything will come again in the future. Come in the future. So we'll discuss, guys. I just started, guys, this third day actually. Every points if you see here, we will go more deep dive. Okay. Even though at the architect level also, um, architect level also, what exactly is being planned internally, right? Yes, Rajesh, by completing this topic, you would be eligible for go for both the exams, solution architect also, and if you're also doing developer track also with us, so developer training also being covered. After this training, you can directly go for examination. Everything will be covered in this training. Even though I will also take one exam boot camp also, guys, for you. So that's all, guys, for today, and see you tomorrow. Any other question left here? I believe in my tomorrow or next classes they will be completed. Okay, bye. Take care. See you.